Okay, so for this next little video, I'm recording this spot here, which is referred to as step 2, and I have a link now for the step 1. If you haven't already downloaded the map package and got that all set up, you'll want to watch that video. But step 2 involves then, once you have the project open and you're ready to start, choosing which chart sheet you're going to be working on, and then the actual steps for adding the points and then recording the attributes. And so step 2 is referred to here as select the map chart. It really is a sheet that you're working on, and then getting the right files you'll need for adding those points. Okay, it'll be a little easier once I pull this up and you can take a look. All right, so again, the organization of all of this is in these individual map panels, and so you're familiar with this project. I included one sheet from the upper section here that the previous workers have. John Remo's group, they put together the points for those sheets. So you can see sheet 59 has already been done. Our group now will start with sheet 60, but as you click these on, it'll show 61, 62, and we're going to be working all the way down to Baton Rouge, which is down here. To do that, we'll need to have at least, the 6 total sheets: 61, 62, 63, and all the way up to 66. So my recommendation is that as you divvy up this work, you work on one sheet at a time, and maybe Hannah, you might take 60, and then Bailey takes 61, something like that. And so say, for example, if we're going to take 60, what I have up here are the sort of blank point files where the points will be recorded to. And right now I have it just 60, 61, and 62, but I'll show you how to add 63 all the way up to 66. It's pretty easy. I'll make sure and show that next. But if you already have one that you're starting from, for example, Hannah, if you're starting from 60, you'll want to make sure, what I like to do then is just sort of close these other ones out so I don't get confused. And then the one I'm working on is the 60. Again, the idea here will be you'll be adding a point location to each of these river depths. You might just systematically start, in this case, at the north end and work your way south. Placing points and then adding the attributes. So this helps to have an actual mouse for this. The roller on the mouse allows you then to pan the map around. The roller allows you then to zoom in and out. And then a click and a hold also allows you to pan around. Now, in order to start adding points, you have to choose which layer you're going to add the points to. In this case, I'm working on sheet 60. So make sure you turn off all the other sheets so you don't get confused. And then make sure you have highlighted in blue the sheet that you're working on. I'm going to turn off all the other points, the completed ones here, and I'll turn on the layer that we're going to be working on. I'll just check a check mark there. To start adding points, you'll go up to the Edit tab up at the top here, and then you need to click on the Create button, and that brings up this pane over here on the left side. And in order to start adding points, then I will click on the LMR 1880 survey points sheet 60. As soon as I click on that, then notice that my cursor changed. Now it's this little crosshairs with a point, and I'll zoom in a little closer. It looks like my first point, and you just kind of want to drop the point right into the middle of that number. And when you're ready to add the attributes for it, then you'll click on the attribute button here. You can see that was 43 feet of depth. So I'll just record over here 43 feet for depth. This is sheet number 60. And then the date of this is December, this is a little hard to read, so 12/30/1882. There is a way to, if you have a bunch of them that all are from sheet 60 and 1882, I can show you a shortcut for that. But let's just get started with doing it the longhand way for now. And then the next point you would add, now this one's 48, sheet number 60, and then 12/30/1883, 82. So one thing you can do to shorten this a little bit is I'll just control copy that one, and then so at least it makes it a little faster when I go here. The depth here is 54, sheet number 60, and then you can just do control V to get that part to come in. I'm hitting the return just to lock that in. Now ArcGIS Pro does not have an autosave on this, so I would say after you do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 some points, just hit the save button up here to lock that in. And if you're ever ready to be done with the project for a given session, you can hit the save button up here. Oh yeah, this reminds me, you want to make sure and save this project to that folder, the Mississippi River folder, and you can keep that same name just in that same folder and hit save, and then the next time you come in and do the work, you'll just simply open that project. Alright, so like with that being said, there are you'll save the individual edits here, but then also this save button up here, this saves the edits on this layer. This save up here saves the project changes. So for example, if I was ready to be done for the day and I wanted to come back to it tomorrow, I would just simply close out the project, and then I would go to my local disk C on my computer, go to the project file. Oops. I would click on the Mississippi Digitizing, and then here's that file that I just saved, and so I would open it, and it should open the project right back to where you were. Okay, so that worked pretty well. It opened back up to the same location. Now notice now I have my save button is active again. This is because if I start making changes in here, even moving the map around, it recognizes as a change to the overall project. So for example, if you had made your way down this far and you hit save, when it reopens, you'll be right back to where you had left off the last time. This is, the repetitive part now, and then there's one other aspect that I want to show you, and that is if you turn off this map sheet, you can see that as annotations, as labels, the depths are on here. So the last step that you will do is to check your work just to make sure that the numbers you're putting in here are matching. And so it's going to be a matter of double checking those numbers. It's easy to do a typo, and it's fairly easy to catch later. So you'll just kind of go back to your work at the end of a sheet, check point by point to make sure no typos, correct any if there are, and then proceed from there. Okay, so if you're starting back on a session, you'll go to the edit button again, to the create, click on the 1880s surveys, you get your cursor back. If you notice, I guess this is a little out of sight on this screen here. Let me just change this. Down at the bottom here, I can toggle back and forth between these panes, the create feature pane or the attribute pane. So if I'm going to add my next point, 65 feet of depth, I would then key that in, sheet 60. Maybe that's still in the copy queue. We'll see. It is. Hit enter, and then again save. Now remember, this big save here is just saving the work on this point file. If you're then done with the session, you'll hit the save on the project also. So really, I think, let me just look at what I had in there for step 2. Select the chart that you're going to be working on, add each sounding, and record the attributes. We got that. The last thing I wanted to show you is if you got down, for example, to map sheet 63 and you're ready to make a point file based on it, what you'll do for that part is go to the View ribbon, and then you'll click on the Catalog pane. That's going to add another pane over here, just like we have our create features and attributes for the catalog. If you expand the one for folder, expand the one for Mississippi, and then, oh, I see it's not there. Let me just, okay, so what we'll have to do is go to the add folder connections. We'll have to manually add this. You'll go to your C folder, the Mississippi Digitizing. It's going to be in this P20 folder, and that's okay. I guess we'll just add it to the P20. Notice that we have access to the P20 now, and if you expand that out, then expand the MVN 1880s hydrographic survey, and notice in here there are the same 3 sheets that I have there that I pre-made for you, 60, 61, 62. If we're ready to make 63, they have another one here for template, and so right click on that and then go to copy, and then right click on the name of that geodatabase here where it's the GDB at the end, right click and paste. And then if we want to just click on it again, or you can simply right click and go to rename. We would rename this one from template _1 to sheet 63. Once you've created that empty sheet, you simply just simply grab it and drag it across, and you can stick it right above 62, and now you have that 63 sheet to work from. So if we were at that point and you were ready for it, what you would do is you'd open up sheet 63. If you wanted to go to that sheet, you can right click, do zoom to layer. That brings you over there, and you'll be starting way over, say, on the upstream end on this far left side of the sheet, and maybe you would start off with this 14 as the river depth. You would want to make sure you're working with the same sheet, 63, points for 63, go to edit, create. Now you want to again make sure it's going to be editing sheet 63, and you'd be ready to start adding your points. Attributes, add the depth, and so on you go. Okay, so that's how that part will go. In the next instructional video, once you have an entire sheet done, I will then show you how to upload that to our shared folder so that we get a backup of it, and we'll know the ones that are complete. All right, so certainly reach out by email if any of this is unclear or if anything doesn't work the way I demoed it, and I'm always happy to help troubleshoot. All right, good luck with that step. Talk to you guys in the next video.